Hey guys, welcome back to another show. Today's topic is going to be from a comment that I received on a video, and I think this is appropriate because a lot of people go through this, and this is a normal question, and I just figured it would be good to hit it, and we could discuss it a little bit, and hopefully give you guys some clarity on this. And the comment is from Why Me, Why Not? Great name, by the way. It says, since my breakup from my narc ex, I look at the world differently. It has made me so much more lonely. However, I see through people's BS so much clearly now. For example, I can't stomach how much social media, now Facebook, and especially Instagram, there are the narcs' playgrounds. That's where they look for attention the most. Yeah, I would agree with him on that. New Facebook or Instagram profile pics every 1 or 2 weeks, new posts on where they are and what they're doing. It's all for attention. And it makes me laugh, actually. Actually, I can't even stomach it anymore. I have a hard time being on that. Now, there are some people I do like to follow on Instagram because they're doing interesting things, not showing themselves, but showing what they're doing, right? I mean, like taking pictures and scenics and stuff like that. And I do enjoy that. He goes on to say, the hardest thing, though, is trying to relate with people about what this is all about. Yeah, that's tough. Anyways, I am wide awake. I have multiple women, married and single, making passes at me. And honestly, I don't even get an ego boost like I would normally. I just get a huge sense of, oh, get away from me. And I'm not interested at all. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that when you first start out with this. So I completely understand where that's coming from. And he goes on to say, it's weird. It's like, I come across rude or bitter, but I'm not. I'm just awake to people's BS and I'm not interested. And I mean, I don't get turned on by women at the moment or even want flirting or anything. Again, I don't think that's a problem. You know, you have to give yourself some time to heal from this. It's actually better for you to take a break, in my opinion. It's crazy, but I'm actually a lot happier. The mad thing is the more distance I am from more women, a woman will try and crack me. Well, good luck, as I cannot be messed with them at all. Can you relate? Is this normal? Yes, this is normal. Here's the thing. You go through this situation. You run through the ringer emotionally, depending on, and maybe even financially. You've basically been burned in a really bad way. Oftentimes, people go through this specific pattern. You learn what's going on, you start to recognize it in all kinds of people, and you see the BS everywhere, which I will add is incredibly, incredibly isolating because you feel like, holy crap, the entire world is nuts. But here's the thing. Most of the time when you're blinded by this, you end up surrounding yourself by these people without even realizing it. And my guess would be that now that you are not chasing people, well, in this situation, women, and this goes for women chasing men too, you become more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? More, not a project, but like a goal, right? It's like, oh, wow, why me, why not? Something's going on with him. He's not like every other guy, every other person who's still blinded by all this and still stuck in all the BS, is not chasing me, is not, putting me on a pedestal and stuff, which, I did that with my wife, my ex, I think that this is normal. I can actually relate, well, maybe not with the people chasing them, because where I'm at, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. And for the longest time, I guess technically I can kind of relate to that, but where I was working, I'm not going to date anybody where I work. So that was off the table, so to speak. The hard part with this, and I like what Why Me, Why Not is saying, because it sounds like he's happier, right? He's like, hey, I'm not messing with this. I'm working on myself. I'm making myself happy. I'm making myself the best person or the best version of myself. Hopefully, for him to be not bitter and angry means more than likely that he's been working on himself and healing emotionally. And the crazy part about it, and this is for everybody out here listening to this, when you start to heal from this, when you get yourself back, what you will notice is you put up boundaries and you don't put up with people's BS. You won't tolerate it anymore. Now, I understand that there are certain situations where you have to tolerate some stuff. I mean, I do too. I mean, in a professional environment, whenever management or coworkers or our subordinates are are in this particular category, right over here, I'll point up here, right over here with what he's talking about. It's tough, right? I mean, and I can't just tell those people to go F themselves. I have to work with them. I have to do that type of stuff. So, but when you first starts happening, you see this stuff everywhere. Like, oh my God, I can't get away from it. And the other thing that typically happens is, like I said, you feel like there aren't any good people in the world. Well, there are good people in the world. The thing is that, and this is my opinion too, and I've seen this with a lot of different people, is that as you heal, as you start to feel better, if you watch any spiritual stuff, they'll talk about it with raising your vibration, which I don't completely understand that, but I understand the result of it, right? Whenever you are kind of in that lower tier of emotional growth, let's call it that, emotional maturity, you're attracting people that in that same level. And it's not so much that it's you're attracting it. It's like you have these little interactions, and people will see that you're at the same level they are. And like, oh, okay, look, this person doesn't have any boundaries. I can deal with that. I can mess with them. I can manipulate them. But as you learn about this, whenever that happens, your spidey senses are up. And in the early stages, your spidey senses are up, but you still don't see it, right? So you'll think, oh, this is a great person because they're mirroring you, or they're love bombing you. And I'll say love bombing, and I don't necessarily mean romantically. It could be even a friend. It could be, a guy or a girlfriend, that's not romantic. And they just are like, oh my God, we're like the best friends ever, and you take that, and you're like, oh my God, great. Hey, these people are good. And then after a little while, once that honeymoon stage, because this happens with friends too, then they start becoming who they really are, and you start to see through the cracks. You start to break the illusion. You start to understand what's going on, and you get sick of it. And for the most part, you don't put up with it. And I'll tell you, there are people that I have phased out of my life because I'm like, yeah, that's a no. Nope, don't want them in my life, and don't see any, it's not a value emotionally, and it's not worth it. I mean, and I think that is normal. But here's the good thing, right? And I would like to know what you guys think about this. So this is the question to you. If you are in this phase where you're kind of like, you know what? I am done. I am not getting in a relationship. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not going to do it. Ain't gonna happen. Do you feel that way? Or have you gotten to the point to where you're like, you know what? Not everybody is a narcissistic a-hole. There are good people out there. Now, granted, everyone has their issues. Everyone has their idiosyncrasies. But at the core, there are some good people. There are people out there who aren't just codependents and just trying to people please, but genuine people where you can have discussions with, you can exchange ideas, you can share things. They'll call you to task on your BS. You'll call them to task on their BS. And you're good, and you can be good friends. And you need people like that in your life. You need people who are like that. But you don't need everybody, right? And I think the flip side to this is like what this person is talking about. Let me see if I can pull this back up here. If I can pull, let's see. And it's, let's see, but it's where he's saying right here, where it's like, I can't highlight it. I'm trying to highlight it. It's crazy, but I'm actually a lot happier. That right there is the key. When you pivot from this, and you're no longer angry, and you're no longer bitter, and you're no longer just frustrated, you get to the point where you're actually just happy. You're feeling pretty good. You're like, damn, life can be this good? And the life can be this good if I'm just sitting at my house, listening to some nice music that I like, drinking a nice cold tea. That's what I'm drinking right now. green tea, actually, iced green tea. And it's just like, damn, you feel better. You don't feel like you have a weight bearing down upon you, trying to crush you, or it's like you don't have a boot on your neck holding you down. What this person is talking about is very normal. Very normal, in my opinion. And here's the thing. I want to bring up one last thing before I wrap this up. And this is that last line where he says, "The mad thing is, the more distance I am, the more a woman," and this will be anybody. This will be well, not that all women are narcissists, right? But somebody who is targeting you, I'll just say, more a woman will try and crack me. And that's true with toxic people as in general. Well, good luck to them, as I cannot be bothered with them at all. See, and this is where you get when you start getting through this. Now, I know, and I'll just reiterate this real quick, is that you can get to the point where, you feel like, forget them all. I am so frustrated. Everyone is horrible. I don't need anything. Screw them all, right? And that is the wrong mentality, because it's a mentality based in anger, fear of having it happen again, and frustration. Those emotions don't do anything good for you. They will wear you down even if you don't have somebody actively doing it. It's just a bad place to be. But, in my opinion, as you get through this, as you heal from this, they can't get to you anymore. They can't manipulate you anymore. And you won't allow toxic people into your life. And then you'll start seeking out and attracting other people. I mean, think about it. Think about it for a minute. If you found somebody who was more in line with you emotionally, where you are, you could have a relationship with them. And it would be probably positive. And it wouldn't be detrimental. It would be somebody trying to help you achieve your goal. I got, like my friend Mike. I mean, I'll just pull this off as an example. We work cooperatively together to support each other. He's not jealous of me if I have a success, nor am I jealous of him. I'm happy for him. He's happy for me. Toxic people, just as an example, would be jealous. Be like, well, why did you get to do that? How come you got 2 scoops of ice cream and I only got 1? I mean, that's a really melodramatic example, but you get what I'm saying. I had a friend of mine back in the day where I got an opportunity. I got actually an opportunity to work on a movie with my friend Mike. That's B-rated, or a low budget film that actually never got produced, which is really annoying. But I did get an IMDb listing out of it. Anyways, and I remember telling this friend of mine who, prior to this, the guy I got to go shoot NASCAR stuff. He was always bragging, "Oh, I got a pit pass to do this. Oh, I got a pass to do this. Oh, I'm going here to photograph that." Every time he said it, I'm like, "Oh man, that is so cool." Never once did I say, "Oh, can I go?" or "I wish you could go," or "I'm jealous," or anything like that. The one time I get to do something, I tell this guy that, and he almost has a breakdown. Toxic people will always show themselves. Don't surround yourself with toxic people. Like this guy was saying, as soon as you see, the red flags start going up, and not in like, "Damn it, it's a red flag, I hate you," and go away. Just be like, "Oh, okay, all right, well, that person exposed themselves to who they are." And then you make a decision. It's like, okay, is it worth, I mean, sometimes I'll hear a saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? And you look at it. Now, there are people I do still continue to hang out with that are not the most, great people. Well, not really a lot, but there's a handful, that are just that's kind of in that tweener category. It's not so much that I've actually completely written them off, but I'm not going to go out of my way to spend a boatload of time with them either. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody goes through this, what "why me, why not" was talking about. Curious what you think. What is your opinion on this? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think "why me, why not" is on track? I think he's on track, but that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? If you know somebody who could use this video, please share it with them. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, Consider subscribing for all my good content that I post. And I'll chat with you on the next video. Take care, guys.